Hi, it's Taylor with Mom on the Spectrum. I just got home from what could have been a very stressful medical appointment, and I had such a positive experience that I just wanted to come home and talk about what made it such a great experience because I feel like this particular practice, I haven't seen anybody else doing these very simple things that they did that made it so much more accommodating for a neurodivergent person. So I'm going to talk about that. As per usual, I have my weighted pillow in my lap to help me. I know many of you, like me, in the autistic community, when you have an appointment on the books for the day, it's like that's the only thing you can think about, and especially when it's a medical appointment, there's just like a lot of extra stress. So if you could use a calming weighted pillow, check the link in the description for my Quiet Mind weighted pillow, and you can use Mom on the Spectrum code at checkout for 15% off. But okay, so I want to talk about this. So my daughter needs oral surgery, which sucks, but we visited Texas maxillofacial surgery with Dr. Durrani. Let me tell you, here, let's talk about some things that have been great for neurodivergent people in my experience with Dr. Durrani's practice. So I'll put the link to his practice in the description because, yeah, I want more people to support these businesses and also to emulate what they're doing. Okay, from the very beginning, everybody's just been super kind on the phone. Feels like they have all the time in the world to talk to you. They're not in a hurry to get off the phone. After I scheduled our intake appointment, was immediately sent an email with a quick video, like a 2-minute video of Dr. Durrani actually walking through his offices and showing you exactly what it looks like. So for a neurodivergent person, this is a game changer. He walks in, he shows you the front desk. Here's where you're going to check in. You might be greeted by one of these faces. You're going to receive a form to sign, or you can sign them online before you come. Here's the office where we do the first patient, the new patient appointment. It's usually about 30 minutes. And these are the things we're going to cover. And so you get to see the doctor's face. You get to hear his voice. You get to see what the space looks like. My daughter's 10. So, I mean, for me, this would make a huge difference. But for my daughter, it's like, there's so much fear and anticipation of new things and what to expect that something as simple as a 2-minute video like this it's a game changer. And I actually talked about this video in I did a company presentation over neurodiversity in the workplace. And somebody was asking me, like, when they work with new clients and they're scheduling the meeting, like, what can they do to help that client feel more comfortable if it were to be, a neurodivergent client? And I suggested a video like Dr. Durrani. I was like, shoot a 2-minute video, say, hey, my name's Tom. This is my position. This is what our first meeting is going to be about. Here are some questions that I typically ask during our first meeting together. And here's the purpose of our first meeting. Anytime you can focus on the why for an autistic or neurodivergent person, that's helpful. Okay, so we've got the intro video. Everybody, office staff, super nice, kind. I've said this in another video, but one thing you can ask an autistic person that just feels like a gift, generally speaking, in my own personal experience, what other questions do you have for me? What else? What else? What other questions do you have for me? And that's the vibe that I've gotten from everyone in this office is I'm here to make you feel better. It's okay for you to ask a million questions and I'm prepared. But the thing is with this office, I actually, and my daughter commented on it. At the end, the last person I spoke with, Christine, shout out Christine, I'll get to you. She was my high school friend. She was like, do you have any other questions? And I looked down and I was like, I don't think so. And my daughter said, that's a first. I didn't know she was so aware of the fact that I asked questions. I was like, well, I think they've gotten to all of my questions before I could. So, okay, what happened when we got there that day? Smiling face greeted us, calm. The waiting room was more or less calm. And whenever we were called back into the office, the woman that greeted us, her name was Amy. She was fantastic from the beginning. It was immediately about my daughter, Molly, and not me. So she talked to Molly. Instead, it was like, hi, Molly, how are you? I'm Amy. It's nice to meet you. And I'm going to be the first person that you see today. We're going to talk about what today's going to look like, but it's an easy appointment today, nothing to worry about. So she immediately gave Molly that peace of mind of, hey, this is my name. I'm talking to you and not your mom, which is really important. And I know that's different based on what age your kid is, but for my kid in particular, this was really important. And she led us into the room. She told us exactly where to go. And then she sat down and made eye contact with both of us. And she was like, my name's Amy, and I'm here to just kind of go over what we're going to be doing. And the second person you're going to see is Dr. Duraney. He's going to come in. He's just going to take a look at your mouth. He's going to use this instrument. I think she even like talked about what instrument, just like the mirror. Um, and she was like, he's just going to, make sure everything looks good and we're doing exactly what we need to do. And then there'll be a third person, Christine, who comes at the end to talk with your mom about, scheduling and any final details that we need to wrap up. So from the beginning, I knew exactly what to expect. There's going to be 3 people that I talked to. I knew the role that each of them was going to play. Molly knew exactly what was expected of her, that it was an easy appointment. This was just an intake. Nothing scary was going to be happening. And then during the appointment, I guess we mostly worked with Amy. She was just fantastic. I mean, she spoke to Molly. She asked Molly questions. She asked, okay, and this is one thing she did. She asked Molly if she had any questions, and she was like, well, if you think of any, if you come up with any later, it was like, I don't know if she was specifically trained in dealing with neurodivergent people, but it was like she understood delayed processing and the need to ask questions and the need of just like that sensory overwhelm of being in that chair and trying to process all this information. So she was like, well, if you think of any questions later, because that happens sometimes, you can let your mom know and I want to make sure that I answer every question that you have. It was just fantastic. Okay. So Amy was the best. Anytime I asked her a question, because doctors and medical staff, they're always just typing. Anytime I'd ask her questions, she would stop typing and she would turn around and she would look at me and she would fully answer my question. And her body language showed that like she wasn't in a hurry to turn back around and start typing again, right? I felt like a priority. The doctor came in, he was very nice. He had like open, receptive body language. Again, he was talking to my daughter and making sure that she knew that, he was talking with her and that her opinion mattered and how she felt about it mattered. And then Amy was back again. And while the doctor was typing on the computer, she was like, while Dr. Duraney is here, I'm going to be going over, I can't remember what she called it. Let me get the name. It's like, I'm going to be going over the pre-op instructions with you. And so she handed me, I don't think there's any information on here that I don't want the world to see. Okay, so this is the pre-op instructions. And before she even started talking to me, she handed me the instructions so that I could hold them before she went over. Again, it's like, I don't know if you understand neurodivergent people, but it's so simple. Give people something in their hands that they can see and like read along with as you're talking to them. Because for those of you that might be watching, hopefully there's medical providers watching this to get some ideas. Verbal instructions can be really, really overwhelming for neurodivergent people. And sometimes when you're talking, we hear nothing. It's like we're just processing the fact that the fluorescent light is like twinkling above, or that there's, the dental drill is like going in the next room. So this was so helpful for me because I knew, and she told me, she's like, you don't have to remember what I'm saying. It's all here. I'm going to print it out for you. They put everything in this folder after I was done. So I had all the information in one place. And I'm sitting here like, these things it's so easy. It's so simple, right? But I was sitting there like, I have not had, and I think I told Amy, I was like, other people are not doing this. Other medical practices are not doing this. And it makes such a profound difference. So just, her going over that with me and explaining like, while the doctor's at the computer, I'm going to be talking with you about pre-op instructions. And then after that, Christine's going to follow up and, we're here if you have absolutely any other questions. So then Christine came in at the end and it was this fun surprise because we went to high school together. We were on Jill team, our dance team together. And it was just one of those things where it's like, oh, we're supposed to be here. They're going to take such great care of us. Christine too was just like so thorough and handed me, a physical copy of the expected cost. The important things were highlighted. She went over everything with me line by line. And I just felt like again, Christine asked me, what other questions do you have? And I'm just like, none. And my daughter's like, that never happens with my mom. So I want to say thank you to the medical staff at Texas Maxillofacial Surgery. I really hope I'm saying that right. Thank you to Dr. Durini. I don't know what your background is. I want to talk with you more, Dr. Durini, at some point. Just I appreciate what you're doing and would love to see other practices emulate this. So what you're doing matters. Thank you, Dr. Durini. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Christine. Thank you. I can't remember the name of the woman I spoke with at the front desk, but everybody was wonderful. So I guess to summarize, things that were helpful was the brief introductory video and an email to give a visual representation of what you're going to see, what to expect, the invitation to ask a lot of questions, the physical copies of information in my hand before they even went over it with me, and then telling me what the information was. Okay, these are pre-op instructions. You don't have to remember any of it, but here's what the information means. So having that physical copy, and then Amy at the beginning just saying, here's what this appointment is going to look like exactly. Me, Dr. Durini, Christine, here's what each one of our functions is, what our role is. So setting out those expectations in the beginning and then comforting, making sure my daughter knew nothing scary is happening today. We're just going to be chill, and Dr. Durini is going to do this one thing. And she even told Molly, she's like, we don't like surprises. This was another thing. We don't like surprises. We're going to tell you every single thing we do before we do it. Again, another moment where I was like, I don't know if you understand neurodivergent people, but I think you understand neurodivergent people. Like, this is our love language. So again, tremendous thank you to Texas Maxillofacial Surgery. If you know other medical practices that are doing this, let's promote them in the comments, let's share stuff. You can also submit them to my big autistic resource guide. If you email me at submissions@momonthespectrum.life. I love featuring and supporting businesses that are advocating and supporting the neurodivergent community, whether or not they know it. So again, these are simple, free accommodations that this practice is making that made a tremendous difference for me and my daughter, really. So I'm excited to share this, and I hope that it's helpful. Let me know in the comments what other accommodations have been really helpful to you in the doctor's office. Let's make a list. Okay. Let's make a list, and then let's, the wheels are turning now. Let me make a printable for us that we can take to doctors' offices that will explain simple accommodations in a helpful way. Okay, the wheels are turning. I'm excited. Just had to share. Make sure that if you're needing a comforting thing at your desk, again, days with appointments are really stressful for me, especially medical appointments. There's just a lot of sensory overwhelm of being around new people and lights and sounds. And so my weighted pillow is a lifesaver. Mom on the Spectrum code at checkout for 15% off, and I will put a link in the description. So thanks for watching my impromptu video today. See you in the next video. Bye.